Hello. I'd like to say right now, I hate lousy word studies. Why are word studies lousy? Well, a lot of the ones that you hear from people in the pulpit nowadays are based on really outmoded linguistic ideas, understanding of how the biblical languages actually work. So you may find people talking about how this word has this one basic meaning and then applying it everywhere, or going to the etymology of the word, saying that this is what the meaning of the word is, when the word has such a common usage that the etymology no longer means anything as far as the current meaning. So a lot of people still do those things. And I can tell you about a time that I once heard a pastor try to talk about pastoral visitation based on the usage of the word visit in the Old Testament. He's a good brother in the Lord. I appreciate him and love him in the Lord, but it was difficult for me to keep a straight face during this discourse because the word visit in the Old Testament was used to express God's visitation of wrath and judgment in the passages he's talking about, and not coming to people in any manner appropriate to pastoral visit of comfort and care and prayer and loving a person in the Lord. So this is a really misapplied way in which a ludicrous application of pastoral visitation is only very narrowly averted. And as saying, a lot of word studies really are linguistically invalid now. This has been known since the 1960s. This book came out under Palmer, and then James Barr was the one, the semantics of biblical language, who really set the fire on people to get rid of these weird old word studies. And this came on to Anthony Thistleton and Two Horizons, talking about these things which I'm talking about with the etymology like this and biblical words in their meaning. Moses Silva from Westminster Theological Seminary. So these books are still out there. If you're a Bible college student, a seminary student, you may want to take a look at those. I'll give you a link to on my blog where I discuss this further in more detail. And these books from the Structuralist School of Linguistics, there's a lot more schools of linguistics and which deal with the nature of language and biblical languages and stuff like that. So you can find more out there, especially even on YouTube itself. But I'll give you the link to my to what I have on my personal blog, Common Linguistic Fallacies and Biblical Word Studies. I don't do this to doubt anyone's preaching or teaching, but just simply to let us realize that it's a sentence and not the word across time which conveys the meaning. God put together propositional revelation, and that's something, a big word from Francis Schaeffer that and others that we've heard of over the years. So let's look at the sentences and not give people these word studies, because frankly they're often invalid and often really, really boring. So it's a sin to bore people with the Word of God. So I encourage you to consider what I have to say. Look elsewhere. Look at the people the giants whose shoulders I'm standing in as I talk about this. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I hope this helps.